అందరికీ నమస్కారములు. Today is a good day. We are going to start with a new topic. This is Sanatana Dharma in Mahabharatam by Dr. Karanam Nagaraja garu. We will start the session with Vande Mataram and Prarthana. So let us request Challa Chittibabu garu to recite Vande Mataram, please.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam, Malayaj Sitalam, Sasya Syamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram. Subrajyosna pulakitayaminim pullakusumita drumadala shobhinim suhasinim sumadhura bhashinim sukhadam varadam mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram. Now, Ramesh garu is not there. Who will recite, who will chant Prarthana?
Krishna Kumar garu చెప్పండి.
నేను చెప్పనా?
There are so many volunteers. Thank you.
Ready, sir.
బాబు గారు చెప్పండి ఎవరికి.
Okay. Jayashree garu, please.
Yes, sir. అందరికీ నమస్కారాలు. 1 minute meditation. Close your eyes. Sit straight. Three times Omkaram. Om. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashramastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrunvannotivi Sida Sadhanam Om Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha Om Prano Devi Saraswati Vajevipajinivati Deenamavityavatu Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha Gurureva Gati Gurumeva Bhaje Gurunaiva Sahasmi Namo Guruve Na Guru Paramam Shishurasmi Guroho Madirasti Guru Ma Pahi Guru Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalaspatikakrutim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam हयग्रीवमुपास्महे श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्यदेवो भव अतिथिदेवो भव ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः అందరికీ నమస్కారాలండి ధన్యవాదాలు
ధన్యవాదములండి జయశ్రీ గారు.
ధన్యవాదాలు సార్
Thank you so much. Now I briefly introduce Karanam Nagaraja garu. He is known to all of us. He has been taking classes for our course, all courses, basic course and advanced course, and also courses for youth. And is a long association of more than 2 years. He is a part of Veda Samskruti Samiti. And his brief details I'll just highlight. Professor Nagaraja garu has worked as an officer both in government and private sector for almost 30 years, and worked as professor in universities for 10 years. He has completed MA in political science, history, and sociology. He has also completed his PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University in management science. His other accomplishments include advanced diploma in Vedanta and from Chinmaya International Foundation, and Kovida from Samskrita Bharati, and yoga diploma from Vyasa University. He has also done a course on Gita from Oxford Hindu Studies, Oxford University. He has published nearly 60 articles. This is the old figure. This must have increased even more now in peer-reviewed national and international journals. He has 4 published books: Management Insights from Motivational Slokas, Business Ethics, and Analysis of Dharma from Mahabharata, and Principles and Practices of Risk Insurance. These books are available in Amazon. Currently, after retirement as a professor, he is engaged in teaching Gita for children in Zoom classes, and engaged in writing articles in the blog unculekatha.com. His lectures on ethics in Mahabharata in English and stories from Mahabharata for children in Telugu can be viewed in his YouTube channel. So with this very brief introduction, I'll request Nagaraja garu to start the webinar, please.
शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्याये सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. Good morning to all of you. Today is very auspicious because it's a Mahabharata. Mahabharatam itself is a great book. So on which we are going to discuss for another 4 or 5 days. We will be discussing a few issues that come up in Mahabharata. First of all, I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity, for giving this podium to address all of you. Anyway, this is actually Mahabharata morning to evening. Even if you read any number of times, you don't get bored. The beauty of Mahabharata is that any number of times you read same stories, same characters, same thing only we will be reading, but we will be getting different insights in each and every story. But here, a story, when I am telling the story of Mahabharata, what I would like to say is that it is not just the story that we need to read. If we begin to read the story just like that, you miss the essence. What is more important is that the discussion that happens between all the characters, the way they behave at each and every time, the intricate details of those things, if you begin to read, you get amazing insights in Mahabharata. Each and I don't know, because so far roughly some 100 stories I have told on YouTube, and also some more than 100 articles I have written on Mahabharata. But still, what I am finding is that each and every article, or wherever you find, I don't find any story which does not contain any message. That is the beauty of Mahabharata. Only thing is that you need to look into the original text of Mahabharata. Many times, the problem with people is that many times if we tell this is a story that is there, people will be telling that I know the story. But what is knowing the story and what is knowing the essence of the story is something different. If you just read that person has put for some 100 arrows, this man has put 200 arrows, that is not Mahabharata. Mahabharata is basically written for the purpose of propagating the ideals of Veda to the common people. That is a pranalika. The pranalika means the sketch that has been made by our ancient rishis is such that what they wanted to promote is that ultimately they want to tell the truths that are imbibed in Vedas to the common people. So that is why people tell that Vedas are Prabhu Samhitas. Prabhu Samhitas means the king will be ordering the people. Do this like that. Satyam Vada. You tell the truth. If you tell like that, you hear it and then you come out. But there are that is not. There are some people who can understand the meaning of that Satyam Vada in a great detail. Even if you tell the single sentence also, if you tell the single that particular sentence will be sufficient for the people to understand the entire meaning of Satyam Vada. But there may not be many people who are like common people like us. We may not understand so easily. Just like that, we listen, okay, Satyam Vada, and we will move on. But thing is that if you begin to narrate the same Satyam Vada into a small story, you weave out a story. Say Satya Harishchandra story, you weave out, and you put it there. There is a king is there. The king is always telling the truth, and he is behaving like this. If you tell like that. So what will happen is that what is the truth? How difficult it is to tell the truth? How difficult to stand on the path of truth? How difficult to talk truth and walk truth? All these things, if we begin to see, ultimately the truth wins. So that what will happen is that that gets imprinted in the mind, and we begin to feel that yes, truth is great, and people will actually learn that speaking the truth sentence they want to imbibe in their lives also. So this is the beauty of pranalika. The pranalika, the sketch that has been made by the ancient rishis is that. So how do you tell the Vedic dictums to the common people? So if you tell in the Vedic sense, difficult to understand. So you need to elaborate it. The elaboration purposes, itihasas and Puranas have emerged. This is how we have to understand itihasas, Puranas and Kavyas. When the Vedas are Prabhu Samhitas, itihasas and Kavyas are Mitra Samhitas, what we can call. Mitra Samhitas means like a friend will be coming to you and will be telling you this is how we have to behave like that. Maybe in the houses also we will be seeing sometimes. If we only will tell people, children will not listen. If some other people come to the house and if they tell something, they will be listening to it. Or the teacher tells, they will be listening to it. That is a Mitra Samhita. There are some other person has to come and they have to tell the truths. That is called Mitra Samhitas, Itihasas and also Puranas. And there is a lastly we can have this what we can call Kavyas. Kavyas is something of that nature. What is called Kalidasa Kavyas. Those type of things they will be Kanta Samhitas. People tell Kanta Samhita means like a lover coming to you and telling you something, and you will immediately listen to it. Like that. That is called Kanta Samhitas. This is how the entire thing, the sketch is designed like that. If you begin to read Kalidasa's Kavya, any Kavya, lot of maybe the romance will be there and the outward, but inside each and every poem or each and every episode, what we can find is only the dictums that are there in Vedas only will be again and again repeated in a different ways. This is the entire pranalika of the ancient rishis. So that is why dharmartha kama mokshanam upadesha samanvitam purvavruttayutta kathayuktam itihasam prachachate, like that they will be telling. That is called dharma, artha, kama, moksha. These are the four chaturvida purusharthas, what we can call. Dharmartha kama mokshanam upadesha samanvitam purvavrutta kathayuktam itihasam prachachate, which means that all the four dharmartha kama mokshas also will be there, and purvavrutta, the earlier stories also will be there embedded. Because why earlier stories have been added here? Earlier stories have been added here just to illustrate it as a case point. Normally when we teach, what we will be doing is that if we tell something, some concept we will be telling, the concept may not be understood by the student. What we will be doing is that we put out a case study. The case study will be in a way that it will be explaining the concept. Here also same thing. So many upakyanas are there in Mahabharata. Maybe roughly some 1000 upakyanas are there. If you begin to read more than 1000 stories, we can take out from Mahabharata. These 1000 stories independently, if you take out, each and every story will be having something related to some Vedic or some dharmic or dharma, artha, kama, moksha, anything it will be touching. So that is how this is actually itihasas have emerged. So itihasa means iti ha asa. This has happened like that. That is the meaning. So which means that these are the things which have happened. The difference between Puranas and Itihasa is that Puranas are actually may have happened or may not have happened. That is a story purpose it has been written. But Itihasa is not like that. Itihasa is actually the characters were there on the earth, and it was actually they actually behaved in that fashion. That has been written down in the form of Itihasa. Maybe here and there some elaboration may be there in order to make the Vedic dictums understood by the common people. This is how itihasas have emerged. So dharma, artha, kama, mokshas will be discussed here, and purvavrutta, that is called earlier stories of earlier yugas also will be discussed here, and also the current age people that at that particular point in time, whatever that are there, that is Pandavas, Kauravas, like that Veda Vyasa, all these characters also will be discussed there, and in that way it will be weaved out as a great book which can be understood by each and every person. It is because it is a story. Easy to understand and easy to follow, easy to remember. In this way, what will happen is that they will be understanding it in that fashion. So you believe it or not, maybe a few years back, maybe some 50, 60 years back, this Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavatam, these are the things which are normally known to each and every person in the families. That is how it was going on. Maybe over a period of years, what happened is that maybe if not 50 years, maybe some 100 years back, people will be knowing all these stories, and also all this dharma also they used to know it. So that is why what will happen is that there is a very good shloka is there in a general shloka. Prataha Juta Prasangena. Like that it tells. Madhyahane Stri Prasangataha. Ratro Chora Prasangena. Kalo Gachati Dhimatam. Dhimatam means a person who is having the intellect. So how he was spending his time? A person in the family, how he used to spend his time means Prataha Dyuta Prasangena. Early morning he used to discuss about Dyuta means the gambling. Apparently what we see in the shloka is that Morning they will be discussing gambling. Madhyahne Stri Prasangata. In the afternoon they will be discussing girls. And Ratro Chora Prasangena. In the nights they used to discuss about thieves. In that way, or they will be indulging in thieves activity. And what will Kalo Gachati Dhimata? In that way they will be spending their time. What is the meaning of this? It is actually written in that what is called satirical fashion. It has been written down. Prataha Dhyuta Prasangena which means that early morning they used to read Mahabharata. Madhyahane Stri Prasangataha. In the afternoons they will be discussing about Ramayana. Ramayana is discussing about Kama Pravritti, like that people tell. Mahabharata will be discussing about Dharma and Artha, and Ramayana will be discussing about Kama, and it elaborates how different aspects of Kama, like that. So that is why Stri Prasangata. Ratro Chora Prasangena. Sri Krishna is a great Chora. So Chora Prasangena means Mahabhagavatam they used to read. This is how the entire thing will be, scheme of things will be going on. But because of the intrusion of what we can call so-called televisions and all these things, mobile phones and all these things, totally a new generation of people have emerged, wherein we have totally forgotten the past, and we begin to see that nobody is reading Mahabharata, nobody is reading Ramayana, thinking that this is we have seen the TV channel, that is fine, like that. TV channel and other places, that is some value only will be there. But what is more important is that the real value of Mahabharata will be known after so many years, so much of reading only. But here, why I am telling is that Mahabharata, even at the age of, I read it at the age of around 55 years maybe. So at the time, I regretted a lot that after 55 years I have spent like this, and Mahabharata I have not studied like that. This should have been studied at the age of 20, because Mahabharata will be discussing how we have to behave in the society, how we have to go into the society, what is a dharma, what is how Raj Dharma, how it should be there, how a manager should behave, because we will be working in the government offices. How we have to behave with other people, how we have to behave like a boss, how we have to behave like a what is called a servant, and all these things are actually discussed in Mahabharata in such a beautiful fashion that we have to read it at the age of 20. But at the age of 20, people, if you begin to tell 20 years people nowadays, they will be, what will be happening is that just complete a degree, immediately placement will be there, they will be going to the placement, and they feel that, and it is the end of their entire thing, the entire thing they have learned it, nothing is to be learned. Napoleon Bonaparte used to tell some time back, Napoleon Bonaparte is a great conqueror. He used to conquer, he conquered many things. Then at one time of time, where is your next point, like that somebody asked. Then he was telling, where is the country to conquer, like that. So in that way, people feel that this world is a great, but Napoleon Bonaparte has only conquered a few parts of Europe only, but still he was feeling that there is no other country to conquer, like that. So here also, the normal degree candidates, BTech or whatever it may be, those candidates, once they complete their course, what they feel is that they have completed everything, nothing is there to learn, and this is the end of everything. They marry and again they spend their lives, and in this way only everything will be going on. Maybe at the age, a few people will be having the spark which should be there because of this Purva Janma Pravurti. Purvajanma, if they have done some great things, and now the Pravurti will be coming maybe at the age of 50, 55, 60, whatever it may be, and then the spark will show the light to these people. So then at the time they begin to feel that I have not read Mahabharata. So here, what I advise all of you is that at least if you have read it, fine. If you have not read it, go through Mahabharata, and you have to read it. Once you read the Mahabharata, you will be understanding the perils that are there in Mahabharata. It is an ocean. In the ocean, you have to pick up the perils. In that way, it is there. So this is Mahabharata. Mahabharata, and you begin to tell Mahabharata the importance, because when we are reading Mahabharata, so we should know why we should read Mahabharata. That is also there. Why we should read Mahabharata? Because in morning sitting here and wasting a lot of time and reading some stories and all these things. What is the use of it? We can go on some other work we can do. So this is how also we may feel. But thing is that Mahabharata is why we should read is that Mahabharata is one book, or Ramayana is one book, wherein the dharmic roots of our current society are there in Mahabharata and also Ramayana. The dharmic roots, whatever traditions we are following, even now also, most of the traditions which we follow now, those traditions were there in Mahabharata. Most of the Ramayana traditions which we see now, even now also, if you do perform the marriage of a girl and a boy, the mantras that are pronounced in that particular time, many of those things are there in Ramayana. At that time, Ramayana, Sita Rama Kalyana, if you begin to see, same shlokas are getting repeated here. Same shlokas again they will be putting here. And the traditions, Arundhati Nakshatra, tradition is there. Even Rama's time it was there, now also it is there. Similarly, Semi Vruksha Darshanam in Vijayadashimi day, the tradition was there at that time, now also it is there at that time. So 5,000 years of rich cultural heritage that we are inheriting. That inheriting culture, if you want to understand the traditions of India, if you want to understand the what is called festivals of India, or if you want to understand the behavior of the people in India, all these things, if you go back, what will happen is that all those things are there in Mahabharata, and sometimes they will be influencing even now also. The election time, it is election time now, most of the people will be fighting, and this person will be fighting on one side, and one more person will be fighting on one side, and ultimately clash of these characters also will be coming up, and again some people will be invoking the Ramayana characters, some people will be invoking Mahabharata characters, some other person will be invoking some other thing, and again so many interpretations, and all these things they will be putting. And one thing is that if we don't know the real story, we will also be getting confused. A few years back, you believe it or not, Jawaharlal Nehru University, a great university, where Ravana's effigy was actually Ravana's big picture was put, and Rama's effigy was burnt there. Jawaharlal Nehru University, Delhi. So here the thing is that, and then they were telling you that Ravana is a Shudra and Rama is a Kshatriya, and it is actually the clash between Shudra and Kshatriya like that. And certainly, ultimately what happened now, somebody has told them Ravana is not a Kshatriya, he is a Brahmin. So ultimately they realized it, and then immediately it was taken out and they kept it aside. So if it is Shudra, fine for them to discuss, because it is whatever caste equations are there now, those things are put there in the Mahabharata time, and we say that this is happened there in this book is wrong, something of that nature. Thing is that for understanding this Varna Vyavastha, that also for that purpose also we need to go back to Mahabharata, and we need to go back to Ramayana, and then understand what is actually what actually has told in Mahabharata and Ramayana, and what has been understood by us over a period of years, and what we are following now. See, I will be telling one shloka. This is there in Mahabharata, Vanaparvam it is there. Shudra yonopi jatasya sadgunanu pratishtitaha vaishwatvam labhate brahman kshatriyatvam tathaivacha. Adave vartamanasya brahmanyam abhijayate, like that it will be telling. Which means that if a person is born as a jati Shudra, if he is there in Sadgunanu Pratishtitaha, Shudrayono Jatasya Sadgunanu Pratishtitaha, if he is there in Sadgunams, Satyam, Dhanam, Gnanam, all these things, if he is going to be there, he can be getting Vaishyatvam Labhate, Brahman, he can become a Brahmin, if he can become a Kshatriyatvam, Tathaivacha, all these things he can able to attain. Only thing is that the gunas are more prominent and important. This is how Mahabharata and Ramayana will be telling. Nahusha stories are there. Nahusha story is there. Nahusha and that Bhima story is there. And also similarly, Yasha Prasthas are there. Dharmavyada Upakhyanam is there. Wherever we go, the discussion will be there. Why the discussion is there in Mahabharata? Yes, Mahabharata times itself, there is a lot of discussion over this Varna Vyavastha in those days. Otherwise, so many times that the same discussion will not be coming up. Many places will be coming up in Mahabharata. What is the definition of Brahmin? What is the definition of Shudra? Like that it will be coming up very, very frequently it will be coming up. Why they are coming up means in those days itself, the current problem, whatever problem we are facing nowadays because of this caste and all these things, they were there in those times also. And they discussed it elaborately, they discussed it. Ultimately, they have come to a conclusion that the gunas are more important. It is not the jati that is important. And they were giving more importance to the varna. Varna means the character, the gunochita karma according to guna, like that it was going on. And Krishna also tells in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnyam Maya Sushtam, Guna Karma Vibhagashaha, like that he will be telling. So here, if you begin to read Mahabharata, and you can interpret Mahabharata in a correct fashion. In current society problems, we can interpret in a correct fashion. Otherwise, what will happen? Some politician will be coming and he will be discussing something, and we will be going in the flow only. Whatever he is telling, we will be listening and going on like that. That is correct only. So ultimately, we can't distinguish what is there or not. So similarly, the current divisions in society, how it was there in Mahabharata times, the what is called vyuhas and all these things are there in Mahabharata. So because of this reason, Mahabharata is one thing wherein we can understand the dharmic roots, we can understand the traditions, we can understand in the current society problems, we can understand, we can interpret Mahabharata stories for the current society also, and maybe we can learn something from the past, and we can we may avoid some of the pitfalls which we may fall into in future. So all these purposes, Mahabharata is very much required to read. This is the purpose. Because of this reason, we need to read Mahabharata. Number one. Second important thing of Mahabharata is that what is this Mahabharata and how it has emerged. Purpose I have told. Purpose of Mahabharata is actually to tell the Vedic dictums to the common people. Vedopa Brahmanarthaya, like that. Both Valmiki also will be telling, and also Vedavyasa also will be telling in both places. Ramayana writing, he will be telling, and Mahabharata writing, he will be telling like that. Vedas meaning we want to tell to the common people. That is the idea of Mahabharata. And how is the Mahabharata was conceived? In a beautiful fashion it is conceived. Today is an introduction class. Maybe I will be discussing here and there some parts I will be discussing. And also a broad outlook of Mahabharata I will be giving today. So here Mahabharata, actually Mahabharata happened, we believe that Mahabharata happened some 5,000 years back. Some people say that it is 7,000 years back. Because it is history, there are different people will be calculating in different periods. 3,001 or 2, there some people will be telling Mahabharata war has been fought. Either some historians will be telling. Some historians like that Veda Vyasa is there, IAS Veda Vyasa. He has somewhere 1200 AD he has put it. 1200 BC he has put it. Like that, there are different versions are there. But broadly, people will be according to the Jyotisha calendars and all these things. People believe that it is actually some traditions. Traditional people also will accept that it may be around 3001 or 2 BC. Maybe this is they will leave it all those things, because that is actually research work which we need not see. Because thing is that we wanted to see the content and we don't want to see what is the discussions about when it happened. All these things we are not discussing. Anyway, it is some 5,000 years back the Mahabharata was written. When Mahabharata was written by Vedavyasa, Vedavyasa is also a character in Mahabharata. Vedavyasa, beautifully what he did was that when he was there in Mahabharata, he has seen the characters. He is actually responsible for some characters. And what happened is that he conceived the entire idea of Mahabharata. Once the entire Mahabharata war was over, he says that he goes to Himalayas, and there in one of the guhas, he was there in a guha. Guha, we tell that it is called cave type of thing. He went inside and he was sitting in that Ganges water was there in the pure serene atmosphere. He was sitting there and he was actually, he was having an idea of telling the Vedic dictums to the common people. But for that he was searching for a story. And now this story of Mahabharata war and all this is, he wanted to take the same story only, and he wanted to put the same story for the purpose of his case study purpose, case law, something of that nature. He has taken that entire thing. He conceived the entire story in his mind. The entire story is there in his mind. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, and also this characters also he has seen, and all these things he wanted to put in as a form of a story. The thing is that it is a very big one, vast one. So many discussions are coming up in between. So what he did was that he prayed for Brahmadeva. Brahmadeva was actually immediately, he was knowing about Vedavyasa's ideas. He only came there immediately. And Vedavyasa, Mahabharata, all these things are there in Adi Parva itself, it is there. So then what happened is that he was asking Vedavyasa, why don't you write this book, this as a book? Because you have conceived the entire Mahabharata, and in the scheme of Mahabharata has come up in your mind. Why don't you write it? Then he told, because if we begin to write, it will take a lot of time. Thing is that there should be one lekhaka should be there for me. If one lekhaka is there, I will be dictating, because the fastness with which I can able to conceive my ideas and project my ideas, there should be a matching person who has to write this entire thing. So Ganesha is one person. So he asked Ganesha, you ask. Then Ganesha, he prayed. Ganesha came there. But Ganesha is actually a busy person. No, busy person means he is wherever any person is doing a small puja also will be invoking this Ganesha only. He will be going on different sides. So he put a condition to Veda Vyasa, stating that, oh, Veda Vyasa, okay, I am ready to write it. The thing is that you should continuously tell it. And you should not stop it at any point of time. That was one of the conditions Ganesha has put it. Maybe this small story you may be knowing it in spite of that, because it is entire view of introduction purpose. I am telling this story. Then he agreed for it. Vedavyas agreed. Okay, I will be telling the entire story continuously. I will be telling without any interruption. But thing is that, Vedavyasa is also an intelligent person. Thing is that both are intelligent persons only. Sometimes he may feel like taking a little bit time in order to weave out a very beautiful shloka, whatever it may be, difficult, all these things. So what he told is that he put a condition to Ganesha. Okay, I will be uninterruptedly, I will be telling. Thing is that each and every shloka, what I am telling, you have to understand it and you have to write it. Just like the writing is, I don't require it. You have to understand it, correct or not. Then you have to write it. Then he also agreed. Both were sitting there. And Vedavyasa was telling the entire story. Thing is that here and there, he has to think over sometimes. Vedavyasa has to think over sometimes. At that time, what he used to do is that he used to put a difficult shloka, very, very difficult shloka, which if you just like that read it, 2-3 minutes will be coming out of it. Then because the panna over the words and all these things, in that way he used to put it. Then even Ganesha also has to, for understanding that particular shloka, it takes some time for him. So he has to contemplate. And by that time, he used to weave out another 100 or 200 shlokas and he used to tell it. In this way, the entire Mahabharata was this, what we can call this difficult shlokas here and there he has put. Now those are called Grandha Grandhis, what we can call. Grandha Grandhis. It's a difficult. Grandhi means it is actually a knot, K-N-O-T, knot we tell. So the knots. The difficult knots, they are there, some 8,800 knots are there. That is called, like that Mahabharata, he has written down. They took around 3 years continuously, they sat there. And Mahabharata was ultimately, it was prepared. Mahabharata was prepared. So 3,300 years. You believe it or not, when Vedavyasa and Ganesha, when they actually skim out the entire Mahabharata story and they have written the original story, original shlokas and all these things, it took for them 3 years. But for translating this entire Mahabharata into English, so there is one person, Kesari Ganguly, somewhere in 1883 to 1896, 13 years he has taken to just translate it into English, shloka by shloka. So that is because the shloka is already there and the person is there, readily is there. He knows English. He's a Bengali person, of course. He was translating it into English. The English translation took 13 years. But Vedavyasa and Ganesha completed it in 3 years. The original shlokas, understanding and all these things, like that way, it went on. So when that was entire thing was conceived, I think is that year earlier, the great people, Sanatana Dharma, if you begin to see it, they not only tell something, because whatever they do some great activity and keep quiet, there is no use. That has to be spread. You begin to see from Vedavyasa, what is called Valmiki, Vedavyasa, and even now Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, whoever it may be, from that day onwards, the spreading of that knowledge is more important. Otherwise, what will happen? The knowledge will remain stagnant in one place. Maybe sometimes later somebody may pick it up, or sometimes it is just like that gone also. So it has to be spread out. For that matter, Tulsidas and all these people, what they did, you have to understand. If we understand the Sanatana Dharma, how it was actually spread. It was spread was Valmiki, what he did, The whatever Ramayana he has written down, he has given it to Lava and Kusha and asked them to sing the entire thing by way of songs in all the places. They used to sing across Ayodhya. Across Ayodhya, they used to sing it. And in the palace also they have sung. And what happened is that the entire thing was known to the people. People in those days, once if they listen, it's sufficient for them to understand it. In that way, that is Dharana Shakti was there like that. And again, they will be telling to some other person, it come down like a what is called heritage. It has come down from generation to generation, something of that nature. The Veda Vyasa also wanted to tell the entire things in a similar fashion. Similarly, Tulsidas, you can see Tulsidas, how he did Tulsidas, Ramcharitmanas, when he wrote, used to come to that one particular spot. What is that spot? Well, some place is there. That place he used to come out and every day he used to sing out in a great fashion. People used to congregate there and people used to listen like that. Shankaracharya, what he did, Shankaracharya, when he started propagating that Advaita philosophy, he did not rest it in one place, Shringeri. He used to move to different places. By the time he attained 33 years, he visited in Bharat twice, to be frank. He went from South India to North India, came back from North India to South India. He went to different places and also he established 4 peethas in 4 different directions. One is in north, one is in south, one is in east, west, like that he has established. So the beauty of the greatness of Shankaracharya is that so once he told that entire thing, whatever he wanted to tell, that the entire thing has to spread in different areas of Bharat. So what he did, different directions, that too. See, Puri is this side Puri is there, Badri is there, and then Dwarka is there, and then Shungeri is there. Like that, the different 4 directions. 4 directions he established a Pitas so that that Advaita philosophy has to spread from that directions. So like that, the great people will be doing in that fashion. Buddha, when he did like that, Buddha was also, of course, he is not our dharmic person. Anyway, he is also emerged from Hindu Sanatana Dharma only, Hinduism only, and of course, even then also, one of the darsanas, Buddhist darsanas also will accept it. So in this way they used to propagate. Here also Mahabharata, he wanted to propagate Veda Vyasa. What he did was that he went there and he wanted to, Janamejaya was one person. You may be knowing Janamejaya. Janamejaya is a person, he is Arjuna's son was Parishit. Arjuna's son was Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu's son was Parishit. Parishit's son was Janamejaya. By the time Janamejaya was there, that is called 3 generations after Mahabharata, he was not knowing the story of his great forefathers. So he wanted to listen to it on one particular occasion after Sarpayaga. That entire thing is there in Mahabharata. And he wanted to listen to it. Who can tell the story at that particular point of time? Only that inquisitiveness is there at that time. Vedavyasa comes there and he told that he asked Vaishampayana, one of his disciples, you tell the entire story of Mahabharata to this person. So he told it in the entire story of Mahabharata, and there these people will be asking some other questions. So according to Vedavyasa Hrudayam, because he was a direct disciple of Vedavyasa, so what he did was that whatever Vedavyasa has told, it should not be deviating from the ideas of Vedavyasa, because Vedavyasa is telling some concept. The conceptual deviation should not be there. Maybe story deviation may be there, and he elaborated it in some other fashion. Maybe initially people tell that some 8,000 shlokas as Mahabharata, Jayam, the name is Jayam, like that. He actually told some 24,000 and odd shlokas Vedavyasa, Vaishampayana told to these people, because that is difficult to understand Vedavyasa Mahabharata itself. So it was elaborated, and Vedavyasa told that it is as if it is mine only, like that. He blessed it. Ultimately, what happened is that is actually a selected few people who were there in the court of Janamejaya, and those people heard the entire story with rapt attention. And one person in that particular congregation was actually, a few people were there. In that, there is one person by Ugrashrava, one person was there. The Ugrashrava is actually a Sauti. Sauti means he is a Sutaputra. That Sutaputra was also there. He was an intelligent, he was a scholar of great excellence. And because even though he was a Suta, he was given a lot of importance and prominence. So this person heard the entire story. Then he was having a lot of anxiety to tell the story to some other persons also, because the story should spread like that. So he was searching for different places, and he came to one place called Naimisharanya. Naimisharanya, when he came there, he saw one gentleman by name Shaunaka. Shaunaka is a Kulapati. Kulapati is there is some definition is there in Sanskrit. Kulapati means, actually the meaning is that there is 10,000 minimum students should be there for him. Because there is one scholar, one great scholar like Guru. The scholar at single point of time, he can impart knowledge to 10,000 people. To that extent his knowledge will be there. So this is how there are people like that. There are people even now, there are sometimes we will be finding this is something of that nature, maybe Sahasravadhana, like that. Different Sahasra, 10,000 people, the person will be answering, no? In that way, here also 10,000 students are there. 10,000 students also he can tell at a single point of time, he can give them education. Because of this reason, people used to come and sit with him. He is called Kulapati. He is a Shaunaka, was a Kulapati. That is why only the name Kulapati has come to the present day university. Vice chancellors also will be designated. Chancellors also will be designated as Kulapati. Kulapati means chancellor nowadays. But chancellor, normally universities will be having some 2,000 students, 3,000 students, something of that nature. But in those days, big universities sometimes will be having 8,000 students. Maybe roughly 10,000 is a great thing only. But in those days, 10,000 students they used to accumulate in a single space, and this person used to teach all those persons. This was the congregation he saw. He came there because he was a known person by that time. He was respected by all the people, and they wanted to ask this person. They wanted to ask Ugrashrava, why don't you tell the stories? But Shaunaka, that Kulapati was a very intelligent person. He wanted to test this Ugrashrava again. What he asked initially is that, okay, Ugrashrava comes and tells, I know the story of Mahabharata, I wanted to tell you like that. All the 10,000 disciples were also very interested in knowing it. But still, Shaunaka tells, I want to hear from you the story of Bhargava Vamsham. Because the Shaunaka belongs to Bhargava Vamsha. He knows the entire, what is called, heritage of his own Vamsha. He knows it. So then Ugrashrava also understood it. And he begins to narrate the entire story of Bhargava Vamsha. Bhargava Vamsha, Chavana, and all these Ururu, Pramadvada, all these stories will be coming in that particular spot. And that entire story, once after listening to entire thing, so he got convinced that this person is having the knowledge. Then he asked Ugrashrava, okay, you tell the story. Now then he began telling the entire story to 10,000 people. At a time, the entire story was actually told to all those persons. This 24,000 shlokas, people tell that whatever story that was there, the story was again and again elaborated, because 10,000 different questions will be coming from different people. Then he wanted to illustrate the concept by means of a story. He used to add some story here and there, and he used to elaborate it. In that way, it has got to some 1 lakh shlokas. And again, Vedavyasa blesses it. Yes, this is as if it is mine only, like that. And ultimately what happened is that this 1 lakh shlokas is actually come to us. And this 1 lakh shlokas, what is the sanctity of this 1 lakh shlokas means, actually by the 5th century AD. By 5th century AD is there. Now by the time, people were knowing about this 1 lakh stories. We come across different places. And particularly there is in Maharashtra area, there is one place is there. That is a place is actually there is a Shravanta, one king, Maharaja Shravanta. He is a KHOH is there, no, KHOH, what we can call. It is somewhere in Satna district, it is there, people tell, I have not seen it. In Madhya Pradesh, Satna district of Madhya Pradesh, he has put one inscription. That inscription is called actually, that inscription actually discusses that there is the book Mahabharata is very much known to all the people at that current point of time. Current point of time is at around 5, he was there in 533, 34. That inscription was put. Date was also mentioned there. So 530 AD itself, people were knowing this 1 lakh shlokas. They were knowing Mahabharata is consisting of 1 lakh. It is a copper plate inscription. Copper plate inscription of KHOH. If you type, I think it may come in. What is called Google also. We may come across Seta Sahasri Samhita, like that. It has been written down there. So this is by 5th century AD or 5th and 6th century AD, people were knowing the entire Mahabharata, and people were telling the entire Mahabharata to different people, and everybody was knowing that it is actually 1 lakh stories, 1 lakh shlokas. So the 1 lakh shlokas is a standard one. So in Mahabharata it is written down that there are some 64,000 shlokas were there for devatas, and some 10,000 shlokas were there for Pitru devatas and all this. Yes, Narada was the person who propagated Mahabharata in Devaloka, and Asita was one person who propagated the entire thing in Pitruloka, and Vaishampayana was the person who was asked to tell the entire thing of Mahabharata in Bhuloka. Like that, something, all discussions are there anyway. And Narada did that 60,000 shlokas and 30,000 shlokas, 60 lakh stories and 30 lakh stories shlokas. We don't know all those details anyway. But anyway, in Bhuloka, we are having 1 lakh shlokas. By 5th century itself, it was 1 lakh shlokas. This 1 lakh shlokas, actually what happened is that this people have not accepted all this 1 lakh shlokas immediately. There is Pune, we come across Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute is there. This Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute people, they have taken out different versions of Mahabharata prevailing at that particular point of time, and they found that most of the places, whatever versions they have taken out at that particular point of time, whatever this manuscripts were there, all the manuscripts almost exact word to word, every shloka was tallying. Maybe here and there little bit ambiguity may be there. So they sat down, and they're great scholars of that particular point of time, 1919 to 1966. Say how many years roughly? 49 years roughly. 1919 means that is 1 year. 20 to 66 is 46 years. 47 years of great research they have done. After 47 years, they have come out with one book. That is, even now also people follow that. It is Bhandarkar Research Institute Mahabharata, we call it. That is actually a standard version of Mahabharata. This is a standard version. And there is one more version is there. That one more version is our Gita Press people, Gorakhpur Press people, they have come out. And their own research they have come out. That is also 1 lakh shlokas only will be appearing. And there is Kumbakonam Press, one more press is there, Kumbakonam Press. There is one more Tamil people. Those people, they have also come out with Mahabharata Sanskrit version. That is also 1 lakh shlokas, roughly 1 or 2 shlokas. This way or that way only it is there. And most of the places, all the shlokas here and there, Pathantaras are there, very few places. Most of the places, all the shlokas are tallying. So people, that is why this is standard book means the Bhandarkar Research Institute, Gorakhpur Press, Gita Press people, and also this Kumbakonam Press. These three people will be referring. The rest of the things, all those things are there here only. Maybe by 5th century, 4th century, most of the people were knowing the entire Mahabharata. That was a thing that is being portrayed in these places. Then subsequently what happened is that once that is done, and of course as I told, Kesari Ganguly translated it to English in 1883 to 1896 time, and subsequently recently means some 4-5 years back, Vivek Devray, he also translated entire Mahabharata into 2. That is also there in that is also a great precious book we are having. Time is
fresh గా ఉండదు ఇదే బెటర్
just 7:20. Time is there anyway. Now this is how the Mahabharata, actually the spreading of Mahabharata over a period of years. So Mahabharata, how Veda Vyasa wanted to spread it, that is one aspect. Second thing is that how it was spread in, and after maybe 1st century AD onwards, how it was spread. That is why people tell that whenever you listen to any particular story, whatever it may be, you need to propagate the entire story to subsequent generations also. You need not stop it there. So when I started my own stories, I tell you, the thing is that some people told, many people are there who have told Mahabharata, why you are writing the same thing like that. The thing is that here, you have to repeat it. You have to repeat it. And Mahabharata itself, they are telling that, he was telling that this story will be told by different other people in future generations of the generations also, so that the entire knowledge will be propagated like that. So here only one thing we have to understand is that before propagating, we have to know whether we are following the original text or not. That is more important. Otherwise, perverted Mahabharatas will be going there in different directions. That we should not do, because if we don't do good, at least we should not do bad. So that is one of the advices what we have, what we have advised to every person. Thing is that, and according to the text, according to Veda Samskruti, we have to go. Otherwise, anything is there, any other place, anything is written down, that has to be ignored only. But that should not be taken into. Bhasa kavyas are there. Bhasa kavyas are great kavyas. But thing is that here all these negative characters are highlighted like anything in Bhasa, because it is only for the purpose of his natakas only. He has written down drama. He has written down a lot of dramas. He has written down in the drama purpose only. He has written down all those things. But thing is that he has highlighted Duryodhana in a great fashion. Karna as a great person. In that way, he has portrayed. What happened subsequent period is that the same trend has been followed by different other persons. So sometimes what we will be doing is that we will be perverting, they will be changing the entire story structure itself. So ultimately what will happen is that we may be doing disservice to Mahabharata, we may be doing disservice to Rishis also. We are having three runas are there. Now, Rushirunam is one of the runams. Rushirunam means the great rishis of ancient past have given us a lot of knowledge. What we have to do is that at least as a persons who have born in this country, our duty is that we have to read it, what has been written down by so many persons, great rishis have written down. We have to do that adhyanam, and also we have to do that adhyapanam. So this is one of the important aspects which is actually ordained by rishis to us. That is a runa, by means of which only we can able to redeem the runa that we have bequeathed the entire heritage. The Rishiranam, how it will go? How it will be going it? We have to read those things and we have to propagate it to other people in that fashion only. So here, Rishirina purpose, what we have to do is that we have to read the original text only. And if we go to films, lot of perversions will be there in Mahabharata. I will be telling you a few examples only. I will be telling. So here, Draupadi was laughing at Duryodhana when he was there in Mayasabha. And this is one of the great myth. Not at all there in Mahabharata. Draupadi was not there at that particular point of time. Only Bhimasena has laughed at Duryodhana. And for that, what we do is that Duryodhana comes out in the films. Duryodhana will be coming out this side. One Malini, she has laughed at me, and then I have to take vengeance against the entire people. Like this, he conceives that particular anger. He will be coming out for him, and he, whatever he does, people believe that yes, this great Manadhana Suyodhana has been actually humiliated in the court of this Mayasabha, like that. We believe like that. It's not like that. What is the purpose of Duryodhana's anger? The purpose of Duryodhana's anger, the greed and all this is portrayed in Mahabharata in a great detail. It is discussed. So he will be discussing about his stay in Mayasabha, and roughly some 126 shlokas he will be discussing. Out of that, some six or seven shlokas only he will be telling that Bhima has laughed and Draupadi has laughed. Duryodhana, the Krishna also laughed. Like that, he will be telling the entire thing to the Dhritarashtra. These people have laughed at. Another 100 and odd shlokas, he will be discussing the great property of Pandavas and how many people have come there, what gifts they have given, the huge gifts, great proper Aishwaryam they are having, and that I wanted to take out. That I wanted to take out. That is a greed. Greed only actually goaded him to go for the war and goaded him for going for the Juta Krida. Not this what is called humiliation, so-called humiliation. Humiliation is not at all there for him. This is the actual story. And the Shakuni story again. Shakuni was there and he was actually disguised himself. He is actually supporting Pandavas only. Not like that. It is not at all connected. That entire story of what is called the Sri Krishna Pandaviyam. That they were thrown into the particular spot and one grain of rice was put to them. And ultimately, one person only has eaten it, and Shakuni came out with that astikas, and that asti used it for the purpose of playing that game of dice, and he won it, and it has a magical power. So no, nothing is there. All these things are not there in Mahabharata. So like that, there are many stories. And again, that fruit going up, no, one after another. And again, ultimately, Draupadi will be telling that I wanted to marry this person like that. Karna also, I should have him a sixth husband. I wanted to have it. All these stories are concocted stories. Nowhere it is there unnecessarily character assassination, what we can call, no, character assassination of Draupadi, which is not there in Mahabharata. All these things are actually come out in Mahabharata. I don't know how it has come out, and they are spread like anything in the TV channels, and they spread it in films, and also people will be telling as if it is a real story, and Karna will be portrayed as a great person. But Karna is such a villain that if you begin to read Mahabharata, the villainous character of the Karna will be coming up. When Draupadi was disrobed in the open court, he is the person who tells, advises Duryodhana, you remove her saris. Then not required. She is a Dasi. Dasi need not be given any respect. You disrobe her like that. He orders Dusyasana, not Suyodhana. Duryodhana will not be ordering Dusyasana to remove the sari of Draupadi. This person will be ordering like that. And he will be talking such an insulting words against Draupadi and other Pandavas in that particular situation. That was the character of Karna. And Karna was the person who actually told the entire wrong thing to Parashurama, and he got the entire weapons and ultimately got cursed. And here we will be telling that he has cursed it, unnecessarily has cursed it. And we will be telling so many other stories. Karna was aiming an arrow at what is called one cow, and the cow was killed. And the cow actually came, Indra has came like that. Indra has come like that. And ultimately, once he aimed that arrow and he died, and ultimately the cow belonged to the Brahmin. He came and he gave a curse. I think is Indra coming and all these things is not at all there. That small insect coming and biting is also the separate insect. It is actually Rakshasa. It is having some curse, and because of this reason, he was born like that, and he came there, and that was the story. But here we have interpreted the story as Indra come as a small insect, and he was actually chiseling that thigh of Karna, and all these stories are actually inserted in Mahabharata by some people, because Mahabharata is such a good story that people wanted to add their own stories here and there, and they have actually changed the entire version of Mahabharata. So if we begin to tell these stories, what will happen? We are doing disservice to Mahabharata. We have to see the entire Mahabharata as it is, whatever it may be. Maybe here one question may comes out. What is the truth that it is a true story? That we are not touching about. Whatever Veda Vyasa has written, whatever the scholars have agreed that this is a real story, that text only we are following. According to the text, the character is like this. If there is some text is there, wherein Karna is saying that it is a great personality, yes, we agree, according to the text. But according to the text, he is not at all a great person. So in that fashion, the dana, which what he was giving, how he has given the dana. Maybe one of my classes I will be discussing that also. And this is how Mahabharata, the scheme of Mahabharata is such that. So what we have to do is that whenever we are going to tell something about Mahabharata, we have to tell in a true sense only. We have to elaborate Mahabharata in the Mahabharata Veda Vyasa Hrudayam only. We have to establish, and not any other things. We should not add our own things here and there. That is not required also. Not required to add anything, because already it is a scholarly book wherein many things are there. And leaving all apart, we are having so many traditions we are having in now also. So many traditions, if we go back, what will happen is that we come across so many traditions in Mahabharata will be coming across. Those and again, so many poets have been influenced by Mahabharata, that in Mahabharata itself it is written down. I will read out one shloka of Mahabharata, just it is there. What they have written is that Sarvesham Kavimukyanam Upajivyo Bhavishyati Parjanyaiva Bhutanam Akshayo Bharatadrumaha, like that it is written down. Which means that like the cloud is giving, it is actually a Jivana Adhara for all these persons. Samasta Pranis means all the living creatures that are there in the world. All those persons just like that they are actually relying on Megha. Like that, this Mahabharata is going to be relied by so many other persons, Kavis in future generations also, like that. Sarvesham Kavi Kavimukyanam upajivyo bhavishyati. So like that, it is going to be actually a resource from where they can able to write in future. They can write in future like that. It is written down in Mahabharata. So this is one aspect. And one more thing is that Mahabharata, more than all these things, why we should read Mahabharata at the younger ages means it is actually because in society, when we are functioning in society, normally we deal with people. When we are dealing with people, the thing is that we have to understand the psychology of other person. And then only we can be a better communicator, a better manager, a better all these things we can become. Only if you read, understand the psychology of other person at a particular point of time. This psychology aspect has been discussed in many places in Mahabharata, the psychology of other person. See, at those days, it is a Varna Vyavastha was there. How a Brahmin will be there, how a Kshatriya will be there. Very beautiful shloka is there. One shloka I will be telling. But just for the sake of example only. Time is there anyway. Another 5 minutes it is there. One of the places it comes across. That is called, the story is Uttanka story. Uttanka, one person is there. Uttanka story. He goes to Paushya. Then when the king is there, and Paushya offers him food. Paushya offers him food. Paushya was a king. He offers the food. When he offers the food, what happened? He accepts it. Okay, I'll take the food given by you because Shraddha Karma is there in your house. I will accept the food given by you. And then he accepts it. He sits there. And then he was having some other urgent work. Then he will be asking Paushya, because I don't have time until you perform the entire ceremony. So because whenever the bhokta comes, that is the right time. That is, people define it. The right time is there. Now, which is the right time? The right time for Shraddha is whenever the bhokta is ready. That is how it is there. It is not necessarily that 12 o'clock and Pitru Devatas will be coming at 12 o'clock. That is also there, because that is actually subsequent tradition, all these things. The Mahabharata tradition says that whichever time the bhokta is ready, that is the right time. So he says, it was not eating on time also. But whatever food that is available, you give it to me, I will take it with all Shraddha only. I will take it and I will bless you and go like that. Uttanka tells. Paushya immediately he orders the kitchen cook. He will be asking whether it is there, something is there. It is there in the food is there, and I can serve him. Okay, serve him like that. He told, and he went out. And the food was served to Uttanka. When food was served, it was very cold, and more than that, the hair of a lady was also there in the food. So then immediately Uttanka got very wild, and he told, but you told Shuchi food will be given to me, but it is Ashuchi food. That is the reason why you become. It is called Andha. Andha means blind person, you can become Andha. Suddenly, Osha also got angry. I gave you good food, but still you have actually cursed me. Because of this reason, you can't have any children, something of that nature. Same curse or some other curse, we don't know. Then he gives a curse. Both persons have cursed. At the time, this person Uttanka tells, no, you have told that what Paushya told, I have given you good food, even then you have cursed me. Because of this reason, you can't have children. Like that he cursed. Then Uttanka wanted to prove it. So no, come here, touch the food, see the food, see the hair, and then you tell me. Then Pausha comes there, he checks the food. When he checks the food, it is very cold. It is not actually warm food, and also that hair is there. Then he enters into the kitchen and he sees one lady preparing the food. The lady was having not plaited her hair, and the entire hair was coming out like that. Then he realized his mistake. He came there, fell on the feet of Uttanka and tells, Swamiji, please forgive me, because for whatever mistake I have committed, because I have served you wrong food only I have given, please reverse your curse. Then Uttanka tells, okay, because of you have asked me forgiveness, I can give you, because it's a Brahmin, because immediately my anger comes down. And then what he tells is that, okay, I will forgive your mistake, but still, whatever I have told, it cannot go waste. For some days, you will be having this andhatva, blindness will be there. Afterwards, your blindness can be restored, something of that nature, he tells. Then he asks, because anyway you have given me unnecessarily a curse, you reverse that curse also, so that I can't have, you told that I can't have children, so you reverse that curse. Then the person, king will be telling, you are a Brahmin, you can reverse your curse. I am a Kshatriya, I can't reverse the curse. Why? That shloka is there. Navanitam Hrudayam Brahmanasya Vachi Churo Nihitastichnadaraha Tadubhayam Etad Viparitam Kshatriyasya Vang Navanitam Hrudayam Tishnadaram. Very beautiful thing is that what he will be telling is that Navanitam Hrudayam Brahmanasya, Brahmanas Hrudayam will be always, it is actually, it is like a Navanitam, like a butter. It will be so soft, it will be there. But Vachi, that walk will be there, no, that will be always very Tichanam. It will be there like that. But you can reverse it easily because you are actually Kshama Guna is Sattva Guna Pradhana person is a Brahmin. So you can reverse it. You can reverse it so easily, you can take out your curse. But for me, it is not like that. I am a Kshatriya. Even though you have removed your curse, you have taken out the curse. In spite of that, my anger against you has not come down. Even though I am wrong and you are correct, even then my anger will not come down because I am a Kshatriya. Kshatriya's Hridayam will be Tishna, and also is a Vachi, that is called Vak will be, actually it is Navanitam. Kshatriya's Vak will be Navanitam, it is a butter-like thing. And he will be speaking soft, but his heart will be very harsh. So this is, he agrees it. It is, my nature is like that. I can't reverse it. Like that he will be telling. So here, the people, how people behave, different tendencies of people. Tamoguna Pradhana Pravurti person, how he behaves. Sattoguna Pradhana person, how he behaves in the society. That we can understand it in the beautiful shloka, it is there. So like that, similar type of slokas we come across in Mahabharata, hundreds and hundreds of slokas we come across in different places. Just for example, only I have given this example I have given. And this is, and of course, Mahabharata is having 740 already. 18 parvas are there. In 18 parvas, Adi Parva, Sabha Parva, Vana Parva, Virata Parva, Udyoga Parva, Bhishma Parva, Drona Parva, Karna Parva, Shalya Parva, Sauptika Parva. Like that, it will be going on. Sauptika Parva afterwards, Stri Parva is there. Say after Stri Parva, Anushasnika Parva is there. And then afterwards, we are having like that, it will be going on. 18 books are there in Mahabharata. 18 books consisting of 18, each and every parva is a great parva. So this is the hugeness of Mahabharata. Hugeness of Mahabharata. In Mahabharata only we come across Bhagavad Gita, we come across Samat Sujatiyam, we come across Vishnu Sahasranama, we come across Shiva Sahasranama, we come across Durga Stotra, we come across Ashwini Stotra, we come across, and many other stotras and all other things are inspiration for our traditional heritage and all these things. So because of this reason, we need to understand Mahabharata in a detailed fashion. Maybe another 4 or 5 days we will be discussing a few aspects of Mahabharata, because 1 lakh stories Mahabharata can't be discussed anyway. A few aspects here and there we will be touching upon here and there. That's why today I will be completing my lecture because time is already over and it is question time. You can ask any question.
Thank you very much, Nagaraja Rao garu, for the great introduction to understand why we should listen to Mahabharata and read Mahabharata also. Now the forum is open for question and answers. Anybody who has any question, they can raise their hand and then you can unmute and discuss. Okay, what are the 3 runas, sir?
Rushi Runa, Pitru Runa, and Deva Runa. Devaruna is because we are born by the Devas. We are actually Devas are the persons who are giving us Parjanya water. They are giving, and rain is coming to us because of the gods only. So that Rushi Devaruna is there, and Pitru Runa, of course, we are born. Our forefathers are there, and we are indebted to them. And also Rushi Runa is one more thing. Rushi Runa, Devaruna, Pitru Runa. These are the 3 runas. We will tell sir.
Okay. Instead of typing the messages, better you. Okay, dhanyawad. Any other question?
Yeah.
Right.
Namaskaram, Guru
Anish
garu.
garu. Yeah.
Yeah, namaskaram. Thank you very much, Andy. There are 2 questions, Andy. First question is, ఈ distortions ఉంది చూసారా, ఈ కొత్త కొత్త కథలు different people
Can you
అల్లేశారు,
please tell in
right?
English, please?
I'll try, ane.
Otherwise, sir, let him tell in Telugu also. You can tell I can answer in English. That is also okay.
Right. I
Telugu
think
లోనే చెప్పండి.
Telugulo is much more. ఈ డిస్టార్షన్స్ భాగవతం చెప్పారు కదండి, భారతంలో ఉన్నది, సారీ భారతం గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నాం. ఇదే కైండ్ ఆఫ్ డిస్టార్షన్ రామాయణంలో ఉంటుందా అండ్ భాగవతంలో కూడా ఉన్నదా? దట్స్ మై ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్. సెకండ్ క్వశ్చన్ ఈస్, హౌ డు వి గెట్ టు నో దట్ దిస్ స్టోరీ ఈస్ there in the original వ్యాసులు వారు రాసిన మహాభారతంలో ఉందా లేదా? ఎలా, is there one source of information?
Yeah, there are two questions he is posing. One thing is that this is actually whether these distortions of stories, Mahabharata I told, but what he is asking is that whether they are there in Ramayana and Mahabhagavatam also. They are there, definitely it is there. One good example is that this Guha is there. Guha is one person who is taking Rama, and we normally in films and other places we see that Guha is actually, he was actually taking the entire boat and Rama was sitting there, and then he touches, then he says that don't touch my this one, otherwise it will become a lady. All these stories are there. No, Guha will never come there, and he will not be taking Rama to that place. Guha will be sending some other person only. Guha was a king actually, that Kirataka king. Kirataka king actually is Sri Ramachandra went there, and he actually Parishwangam means he has put his hands over him, and then he treated him as a king only like that. And he was not treated, he never came there. He actually he was driving the boat, and nothing, that is not there. And Ahalya Shapam is there. No, Ahalya Shapam. Ahalya was never cursed by Gautama to become actually a stone. It was not there. And there are some other versions that taking that Ahalya was not knowing that Indra was coming like that. Ahalya knew that Indra was coming there. He saw Indra and he recognized Indra. And she also said, "Truptos me," like that. She will be telling, "I am very satisfied today." In that way also she will be telling. That story is like that. But actually, a true story they have written down. But here we wanted to deviate that entire story, and Adhyatma Ramayana it is entirely different. Original Valmiki Ramayana it is not like that. Ahalya Shapa, he was never cursing her to become a stone. He was he cursed that she will be not seen by any person, and she has to do penance, tapas like that until Rama comes. Then she has to emerge out. In that way only it is there. But becoming a stone, big stone will be there, and all these stories are not there. Like that, there are stories are there. The stories are actually put there, and then the stories are actually built up by common people. Like that, it is there. The second question, what he was asking, second question I have forgotten. My memory is also.
How do we know? How do we know?
How do we know? How do we know means here actually, sir, this only thing how we can know is that go back to the test of Mahabharata. Okay, we have to believe one source. Sir. One source means that is Ramayana means Valmiki Ramayana. Mahabharata means say Bhandarkar Institute, or what we can call Gorakhpur Press Institute. Any book you can take out. The original book, Gita Press people have published Mahabharata. With the shloka is on one side, and the Telugu translation is on another side. It is there. Some 7 volumes set is there. The volume set you can take means that is that you believe that is actually standard book. The standard book we have to follow. And any other book is there here and there. People will be writing, and some people will be writing. Marur Kodandram Reddy has written down in Telugu, and Karna Parvam has written down. There are so many stories he has written down wherein Karna is highlighted like anything. No, it's not those stories. If we read, okay, reading purpose it is good, but it is actually not correct. So original book you have to take out. Original book, if you take out, what will happen? The original book will be having the sanctity, and then this is according to this book. You can quote also at any point of time. This is not there, or this is there, whatever it may be. That is a source, sir.
ఓకే అండి, థ్యాంక్ యూ. చాగంటి గారు ఎప్పుడు పదే చెప్తుంటారండి, మహాభారతం ఇస్ ఎ బుక్ ఆన్ పర్సనల్ మేనేజ్మెంట్. పర్సనల్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ చదవాలంటే మహాభారతం.
Okay. The other question is, what are the teachings of Mahabharatam for personal, family, social, political, and economic life?
Yes, that will be discussed in another 4 days, sir.
Right. Thank
Four,
you.
5 days
Yeah.
is there. No, those things. What are the issues Mahabharatam has discussed today? Only introduction part only,
Right.
and those things we will be discussing tomorrow onwards.
Right. So my personal
One
feeling.
question.
Yeah. Somebody wants to ask a question.
Yeah, I have one question.
Right.
Andy.
Yeah.
So Gita Press Gorakhpur is a source where we have Sanskrit slokas, and you have the meaning of that Sanskrit sloka in Telugu and chepparu kada. Who gave those meanings and how authentic annadi manaki ela telustundi, because there could be many writers.
Actually, research is a group of scholars. A group of
Okay.
scholars. Actually, again there will be check also will be there. Even now, TTD people are publishing this Puranas. No, Puranas. Actually, I went to the TTD place. One of my good friends. He is also there in the project. Actually, that project actually took me inside. There are 7 or 8 persons will be sitting there, and they will be doing that particular each and every shloka. They will be shlokas here and there. Some mistakes will be there. Mistakes means typing mistakes and all those things. They correct it, meaning they write down, and again one more committee will be seeing it, and then they will be parishkara. They will be there. No, in that way they will be doing it. Ultimately, once it is over, then only it will be coming as a book. Here also, Gorakhpur Press also people have done like that. When there is one Hindi knowing person, he is a great scholar in the Hindi, and of course in Hindi translation, in the better translation he has done. And the Telugu translation, Telugu also he knew, he translated it. But and again, a group of scholars have viewed it, and then it is recommended that it is fine, it can be published. Because Gita Press is a reputed press. They wanted
Correct.
the same standard they wanted to maintain. In that way, it is there.
Yeah,
Is
just wanted to make sure that it's not a
Yes,
single
yes,
person's perspective.
no, but it is not a single person's perspective. It is a group of people. They have put their wisdom, and then it has come out.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, madam.
Yeah. So what I was trying to say is that my feeling is that whatever new stories that are being written by others, first they should have said, saying that this is not in the original. They should have mentioned. And it can be that a person perceives the one sloka in a different angle, and to bring out some truth or some quality or some character of the person, to highlight that. And that is the reason they write so many stories. But though that is welcome because it's individual's opinion, but then they should make it that this is not part of the original. Then it clarifies.
Sir, I agree. Thing is that what is happening now, sir, because everybody writes it for the sake of his own publicity. That is a problem. We are not propagating. Dharma propagation is a secondary. The person's propagation is more important. So what he will be doing is that we come across so many novel type of things in Mahabharata, sir. And there, what they will be writing is that they may not be reading Mahabharata full also. That is what I understand. Thing is that they will be reading some translations of Mahabharata here and there. Translations means English translations also. So normally the books will be coming out in English. They will be writing. Draupadi, one book will be coming out. There, what they do is that they will be taking out some translations here and there. They quote some few other scholars of other countries, and also they will be putting it there, and they will be weaving one story out of that, and they wanted to add here and there some language and all these things. Ultimately, the meaning will be going out. The essence will be going out, and a new meaning will be getting inserted there. That is how it will be coming. So one example I can tell you. Recently, I was hearing a lecture in history, sir. How it can be perverted. Babur came. When Babur came, and subsequently those persons came, Mughal people, when they came to India. So there was one, how it normally tells, Babari Masjid he constructed by destroying Ayodhya. We will be telling like that. But he was telling one beautiful sentence. The sentence was a beautiful sentence means the sentence in that way. If it is told, we can't say that Babur was wrong person. How he told is that when Mughals, are for that matter the Khilji persons, that is Sultanate people, when they came here, they came there here, and for the purpose of praying and all these things, they reused the buildings available there. Reused the temples like that. Reused the temples means what is the meaning of reusing? Reusing the temple means already there is some temple is there which is not being used by other persons. Then he started reusing it. In that way, he used the word. So what is the meaning here? The meaning is that actually he has never destroyed the temple.
Just a minute.
Temple is actually being reused for the purpose of praying for Muslim prayer purpose. It has been reused like that. It has been come out. So how the distortion has come out here? Nothing is there is not great distortion. It is great distortion. Thing is that never highlighted. The meaning has gone. Here the substance has gone. Some other thing has emerged there. So in this way, people put most of the NCERT books earlier days they used to write like that only. And they used to write, and you believe it or not, if you begin to read NCERT books, maybe some you don't know also many books it is there. What they will be writing is that NCERT books, people when they came, they they cannot be called intruders. They came here, they actually settled down here, and when they settled down here, they never went out like English people. English people actually took out the entire money and they went out to their country, and the resources of Ganges has actually enriched the Thames river. Like that, they will be telling all those things. But here, they will be telling these people are as good as Indians only. They mixed with Indian people, amalgamated, and all these things. But like these people are also like Kushans and also Shakas and also like Shatavahana, not Shatavahana, Shakas and Kushans, Indo-Greek people like that. And Indo-Greek people, just as they are Indians, these people are also Indians like that. But the thing is that Indo-Greeks and other persons never destroyed the temple. These persons only destroyed the culture. These people only destroyed the other things. Because we don't want to enter into politics. But thing is that here, the way you can project it is something different. These people are very much Indian like that. Very much Indian only. Very much destroyed the Indianness also, no, at that particular point of time. That way will never be highlighted. So some aspects you can hide, some people you highlight, some ideas you modify. What will happen ultimately is that entirely new picture will be emerging out in the new book. The new book, if you read out, so many modifications will be there, so many alterations will be there, so many important points are not highlighted and they are hidden down.
Right. I got your point. I mean,
Yes, sir. In that way, sir.
it should
Yes,
not
sir.
be distorted. That's the
It's
simplest.
same shloka only. Suppose there is any shloka is there which is giving some important meaning. That shloka you need not highlight. Fine, that is gone. And then the film people actually for the purpose of audience only they will be doing that film. So they have to get some good money. They have to get it. Then Duryodhana should be a great person. And dialogue should be there. That is the problem, sir.
Okay. Okay, if there are no other questions, then we go for Prarthana. Jayashree garu. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सधनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतं सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान् मा प्रमदः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त सन्मङ्गलानि सन्तु स्वस्ति అండి ధన్యవాదాలు
ధన్యవాదాలండి జయశ్రీ గారు. Thank you very much. Now we raise for national anthem. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा, तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तब जय गाथा, जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय जय. I'll just stop recording.